You're experiencing the latest in on-the-water action and current information. This is the Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
Hi everybody, welcome to this week's show, and I'd like to welcome you in to everybody's most famous and most favorite bass fishing lake in East Texas. This is Lake Fork. And joining me on the show today, this is all the way from the Boston, Massachusetts area, Boo Red Sox, Jeff Broder of Navionics. And if you've been watching the show for a long time, you well know that Navionics is a key part of everything we do on our Nitro bass boat, on our Lowrance electronics, and in all of our fishing. We're constantly showing you Navionics charts. Jeff, welcome to the show. Tell the folks, first of all, that don't know why they even need to buy this little chart to plug into their GPS or chart plotter. What's the reason for that?
Well, the chart plotter typically comes with a fairly standard base map. Navionics specializes in really enhancing that level of detail, showing you more fishing areas, a more accurate shoreline, and certainly a better overall view of the lake you're on.
On today's show, we're going to be making at least 3 announcements of major improvements to the Navionics chart line that directly affect this particular region in Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana. And while we're doing that, we're going around the region for your very latest fishing reports from Bill Olson on the Texas Gulf Coast, Brian Hughes in Texas Freshwater, Cajun Phil and Kevin in Louisiana, and Gary Dollahan up in Oklahoma. We'll also have your Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. I'll be sharing with you some information about the controversial Lake Falcon down on the Texas-Mexico border. We'll have your expert answers to your fishing questions on the Ask the Pro, your big fish photos on the big catch of the week, and some equipment information on the Academy Right Stuff. Jeff, you ready to get in the boat?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, we're sending you back to the FSN studios for your Chevy Weekend Planner, and we'll be out on the lake coming up.
Unless you want to fish before sunrise, the best fishing times are going to be in the afternoons. Peak hours will begin on Saturday at 4:19 p.m. and on Sunday at 5:12. The sun will come up at 6:49 and set at 8:03 in the evening, and the moon will be 64% illuminated. For those of you south of Houston, there's a Chevy Kid Fish event taking place in Friendswood on Saturday morning at Centennial Park. Visit our website at southwestouttdoorsreport.com for specific details. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be right back with a fishing report from Oklahoma. Plus, we've got all the latest updates from around the Southwest. Stay with us.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors. Buy quality award-winning tracker boats. Fish the finest. Lowrance, maker of the HDS high-definition system. And Academy, right stuff, low price, every day.
Welcome back, everybody. As promised, we are at Lake Fork, Texas, and we're out on Williams Creek, which is on the west arm mid-lake. We're with Jeff Broder of Navionics. The first major announcement is that some major improvements have been made to the Lake Fork chart. Now, to demonstrate those for you, we're going to put the 2 charts side by side. Jeff, tell us what the difference is between the 2 charts we're looking at.
Well, there's 3 major changes to the charts. The first change would be a brand new shoreline for the lake, and as a matter of fact, we were working around here, and there's a small shoreline, a little cove in here that didn't show up in the old map, and it's shown very clearly and very accurately on the new chart. We have all the docks that are shown in this particular area of shoreline, and I believe most of the docks throughout the entire lake are shown on the shoreline. And we have the creek channel. The old creek channels before the lake was impounded are shown very, very clearly now, and from the ones we've seen, they're very accurately placed. The additional data we've added throughout the lake is a brand new data set, a brand new data layer of road beds, submerged ponds. A lot of the underwater structure that was missing from our maps in the past couple of years is back in there, and it's very, very accurate.
So there's going to be 2 different ways that you can access these charts. One, go to the store and buy the new version if you don't already have a Navionics chart, or if you currently own a Navionics chart that was purchased after October of last year. Got some exciting information. We're going to share that coming up next. Right now, though, we're taking you up to Oklahoma for your very latest fishing reports from there. Here's Gary Dollahan with the Sooner Beat.
The Easter weekend in Oklahoma is always a good time for fishermen because you can catch the bass pre-spawn, spawning, or post-spawn. That means they're shallow and you have easy access to them in a variety of places. Last weekend's full moon and really good fishing across the state with a lot of species being caught in a lot of different places. I also mentioned to you before that you don't have to fish a big body of water in Oklahoma to have a really good fishing spot. Two places I want you to check out as soon as you can. One is Okmulgee State Park, the other is Greenleaf State Park. I jumped in the back of the boat with Mike Taylor on Okmulgee Lake. He was throwing a salt flicker rigged with no weight, fishing it in and around the grass pads and catching some really nice largemouth bass. Also ran into Jimmy Talbot and his two daughters on the lake. They'd caught a 7-pounder that afternoon, were able to show it to us before releasing it. Also, I caught several crappie off the back of the boat with the bobber, fished about 15 inches below that was my jig, in and around those grass beds as well. Right now also is a great time to catch that Oklahoma walleye. Three lakes in particular are really good at this time: Altus Luger, Canton, and Foss Lakes. One thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
Time right now for the Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. And there's been lots of controversy over the last year or so from Lake Falcon down on the Texas-Mexico border with all the pirate trouble. Some say go, some say no. The official word from the authorities is they want you really to stay on the Texas side of the lake and not venture over to Mexico. Let's go right now to the Lowrance HDS-10, the big high-res widescreen unit here on my Nitro bass boat. And we start off by locating the lake about an hour south of Laredo, Texas. This has been an incredible season already at Lake Falcon. Some huge bass, some over 13 pounds, have already been caught at Lake Falcon. Now we're going to zoom in with shaded insight and relief mapping to show you that the lake is in the middle of nowhere at Zapata, Texas. The Rio Grande River channel runs right down the middle of the lake, separating Old Mexico from the state of Texas. One of the most productive areas is called Tiger. It's a complex of 3 rivers converging on the Texas side of the lake at the mid-lake area. Now we switch to the Navionics Hot Maps Platinum. That's the high end of the Navionics charts, and now with the freshest data advantage, you can get the very latest all the time. When the lake is up, there are lots of flooded bushes and lots of brush along every shoreline in the Tiger area, and all of these hold bass. Then there is some really good offshore structure, like all of these underwater points and humps that do show up on the Navionics chart here. There is plenty of good water where you can fish all day long for a couple of days and never leave this one area called Tiger. So if you are going to venture down to Lake Falcon, once again, please stay on the Texas side. Keep your eyes and ears open all the time and be extra cautious and extra safe, and catch one of those big giant bass for me while you're there. That's this week's Lowrance Hot Lake of the Week. Stay with us. When we come back, Cajun Phil and Kevin are up from Louisiana with your weekly fishing report from there.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Stren, the standard of dependability, by Jean LaRue Lures and Bobby Garland Baits, quality soft plastic baits made in Oklahoma with American pride. Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors, and Mercury Marine.
Welcome back, everybody. Your Southwest Outdoors Report is at Lake Fork, Texas today. Not doing a lot of fishing, but we're introducing some of the most exciting updates to the Navionics charts that we use every week here on the show. Jeff Broder with Navionics is with us today. Jeff, maybe the most exciting thing we have to announce today is a new concept called Freshest Data. I'm really excited about this feature. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we're excited too. Instead of doing regular annual updates to the charts where the only way to get new data was to physically exchange the chart and buy a new one, the new Freshest Data concept allows you to download our most current information in the comfort of your own home at your convenience on your own PC.
For free.
For free.
Unbelievable. Now there are some limitations on that, correct?
It's for 1 year from the time of registration of the chart online. But you know, in that point in time, we anticipate having multiple updates for this particular region.
Right. So all across the South region, Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, when you buy a Navionics chart, you are guaranteed of getting the very latest data as Navionics updates these charts. You'll be able to download it for free for 1 year from the time you register it. Incredible, Jeff. Looking forward to that. And all folks have got to do to access this precious data is what?
They have to go to our website. They have to go to the new Navionics web store, and the chart can be plugged into any generic card reader, and it will recognize the chart. It will bring you through a quick registration process, then ask you if you want to update the chart. You press the button and you wait for your chart to update, and take it out and you've got a brand new chart.
Fantastic. Check it out at Navionics.com. All right, next we are taking you east to Louisiana. Check on your very latest fishing reports from there. Here's Cajun Phil and Kevin.
Hi friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox Louisiana Outdoor Report. I tell you what, wow, what about this wind we've been having? That's almost 3 weeks solid with wind, but you know what? We're still getting some pretty good reports, especially around Lake Barrett, where I talked to the guys that said, Cajun, we catch them around all the cypress trees, but don't fish the cypress trees next to the bank. Get the ones that's 5, 8, 10 foot off the bank. You can circle all the way around them, throwing buzz baits and spinner baits. They catching some pretty darn nice bass. As far as the saltwater actually goes, this wind right here has been horrible. But Kevin and several of the other guys from Calcasieu Lake, they're out there right now. They've been struggling a little bit as far as the numbers go, but the size has been big. Lots of 4 to 6 to 7 pound speckled trout being caught. Topwater plugs seem to be working the best on that. Redfish, that's always a no-brainer. Get up in the shallow water, throw topwater spinnerbait spoons or even the Bass Assassin, you will catch some redfish. As far as the eastern part of the state, talk to Captain Jack up in Delacroix. He says, Cajun, redfish hot right now. Come on down and get you some.
There's one, Jeff. Not very big, but hey, it's a fish. All right, well, we're actually doing a little fishing today. I told you we weren't going to do much fishing, but we finally got into a little protected cove, and there's a little male bass. Let me set the stage for you for Lake Fork just a little bit. There's a little fat male spawner up there. We're going to let him go back, and I want to show you something. This lake is down fairly significantly for this lake. As you can see on the shoreline right here behind me, we're down probably 3 feet or so, something like that. And on this lake, that's a lot because it's a flat lake. So there's a lot of open land out there. So it's pushed all the fish back out offshore. All the wind the last couple of weeks has got the lake really churned up. It's really murky looking. Very little, if any, sight fishing anywhere. So we're just out fishing with a plastic worm. But there are some fish still spawning up around stumps, little shallow flats and points. Stay with us. Brian Hughes is up next with your Texas Freshwater Fishing Report.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Abu Garcia for life. By Navionics. Enjoy Navionics anytime, anywhere. By Whataburger, just like you like it. And by Motor Guide Trolling Motors.
Hey everybody, we're at Lake Fork, Texas today on a very windy springtime day, not doing a lot of fishing, but we're visiting with Jeff Broder of Navionics on some very exciting announcements, new features, improvements to their entire product line. Jeff, one of these is called user-generated content. Explain what that is.
Well, user-generated content is it's content that's generated or built or added by our users to our maps, and it's a mobile product at this point for your iPhones, your Nokia phones, and your Android phones. And you get the information, the application from the stores for those devices. And what it allows you to do is put information in that's specific to the area you're in and share it with the entire user base that has the phone. So it shows up on my phone and your phone, even though we may not know each other.
So if I'm out on the lake and I discover a good fishing spot, a tank dam or an underwater pond or someplace, I can actually notate that on my mobile device, on my iPhone, take a picture of a fish I caught there, upload all that information, and then everybody that's got this can see it?
Correct. I don't know how many people are sharing their fishing spots, but we use it a lot for obstructions. We use it for shoreline structures, restaurants. You have a friend who owns a restaurant, you can add the information, the website, the phone number, and they can even change their daily menu. They can go in and update it as often as they want.
Wow, so just like Facebook and Twitter and all the other social media, basically this is the Navionics version of that. Check it out. the Navionics website or for your mobile device like on my iPhone. User-generated content. Let's check in right now with Brian Hughes, your Texas freshwater fishing report from the rest of the state.
Hi folks, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by realrecovery.org. Now first we're headed out west to Lake Allen Henry, where they haven't entered Sherrilunker yet this season, but they have been catching a lot of double-digit fish. The best way to approach these fish is really any way you'd like. They have pre-spawn fish, spawning fish, and post-spawn fish. Your best bet for a big fish is probably soft plastics, a 6 or 8 inch lizard, or even a crawfish, Texas rigged, and of course the jig and pig. Now, moving out to Lake Ray Roberts, the sand bass are ganging up on the windy points. You can throw small traps and or small deep diving crankbaits, or you can go with the old standard, just a slab, vertically fished up and down out on these points where you see bait fish on your graph. And finally, Richland Chambers also has good populations of sandies and hybrid stripers running the points and creek channels out in about 12 to 14 feet. Get out there with your slabs and you should catch plenty of those on Richland Chambers. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Real Recovery. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. You'll find him on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island. Surrounded by pristine bays, estuaries, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico, Port A is truly the fishing capital of Texas. Come fish, golf, and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit the website on the screen. Well, spring winds continue to blow. The influence of the full moon that occurred last Sunday persists, and the high pressure that's been parked over Texas all contribute to a developing spring pattern. Now, the spring bull tides are beginning to push water deep into the back lakes, marshes, and estuaries. The way to fish this pattern is fairly simple. Just follow the rising water. Bait as well as game fish will ride the increasing tides into the back lake areas to spawn as well as feed. Plus, the spring spawn for speckled trout is starting to gather some momentum. On the middle and lower coast, sows are showing bellies full of mature eggs. As free spawners, speckled trout deposit their eggs in guts and along shorelines with grass. Your best bet will be to concentrate on shallow sand and grass areas. Redfish and flounder tend to take a back seat in the spring when trout are spawning. However, they are still available on the flats and long channel drop-offs. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday, have a single tide schedule of one high and one low tide each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Coming up next, we've got the Ask the Pro, your big fish photos on the big catch of the week in the Academy, Right Stuff. But before we head to the next break, I didn't want to leave you fishless. Yesterday, before all this front came in and all the wind started blowing, Jeff Broder and I did get out and fish for a few hours. We did manage to catch a few fish, snapped a few cell phone photos. We wanted to leave you with those. Stay with us. We're coming right back at you from Lake Forest.
The Southwest Outdoors Report, powered by Chevy, is brought to you by Academy. Right stuff, low price, every day. Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Fish your best in a Nitro. Costa Del Mar Sunglasses. See what's out there. And by Chevy Silverado, the official truck of the outdoors.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for our Ask the Pro feature. Our question this week is from Joe in Mansfield, Texas, who wants to know, can you give me some tips on catching crappie in murky or muddy water? For the answer, let's check with the one and only Mr. Crappie, Wally Marshall.
Those crappie in the springtime, especially if it's a little bit murky or stained, will get right up against the edge of the bank in that 57 to 60 degree water. And the baits that I'm using are darker colors. I'm using my black and chartreuse, black and pinks. Those type of colors right there are great in murky water.
Thanks, Wally. If you have a question for one of the pros, just visit our website at southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Click on the Ask the Pro link and send us your information. Now here's Barry with our Whataburger Big Catch of the Week.
Congratulations goes to this week's winner of the Big Catch of the Week contest. His name is Nick Anderson of the Woodlands, Texas. He is shown here proudly displaying a 36-inch redfish he caught off a jetty down at Galveston, Texas. If you would like to enter our contest and send in your big fish photo, you do it like this. Go to our website, southwestoutdoorsreport.com. Top right of the front page is everything you'll need to get to the members only area. You'll need to sign up to become a member of our fan club. It is free, and once you do that, you'll have access to everything, including a way to send in your Ask the Pro question and your big fish photos on the big catch of the week. And on this week's Academy Right Stuff feature, let me tell you that if you're coming to Lake Fork, even though, in my opinion, the conditions are much tougher during the spring spawn this year, you still need to have heavy tackle when you come, because all those big brutes are still swimming around out here, and you could catch one on any cast. I use a big Abu Garcia Veritas rod. I use a 6.5 or a 7 foot heavy action version of this rod, and this is the new Abu Garcia Revo high speed reel. I spool it up with 20-pound test Stren brute strength line, and probably the best way to catch them right now is a simple Texas rigged Bobby Garland plastic worm in a large 10-inch size. Jeff Broder with Navionics has been our guest all the way from Massachusetts today. And Jeff, I appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. I know we've covered a lot of stuff today, a lot of new product, a lot of improvements in your product line. To simplify everything, where would you send everybody to get everything?
Well, the easiest place to go is our website. It's www.navionics.com, and look for the new web store that just opened up a few weeks ago, and that's where you get your freshest data updates, and that will give you all the information on some of the work we're doing out down here in Texas Lakes. Okay, so everything is on the website. Don't be confused by anything we've said. Go there and you can get educated on everything. You need this product if you fish in our region. Hey, Jeff. Thanks,
enjoyed it today.
Appreciate it.
Thank you folks for joining us. See you next week. Our show will be on at 10:30 on Thursday night, or immediately after the Houston Astros baseball post-game show if the game runs late past 10 p.m. We'll also be on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock, and you can always set your DVR for Saturday morning airing because it does not change. You can watch all of our latest episodes 24/7 at our website, southwestoutdoorsreport.com, and you can watch all of our past episodes at our YouTube channel, and you can link to it from our front page. Till next week, I'm Barry Stokes for Jeff Broder. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.